All right, welcome back, everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another AlphaStar match. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, but don't worry, change is good sometimes, and that's coming from me, someone who's usually pretty entrenched in his ways. So entrenched, in fact, that's one of my alternate IDs on some games and stuff. But yeah, so we have got ourselves something a little bit different today in the sense that I'm really going to be focusing on this guy here, and by this guy, I mean this robot AlphaStar. A fair few of you in the comments have requested I really cover what AlphaStar does. I mean, I usually focus a fair bit on what AlphaStar's opponents are doing because that usually dictates how the game goes. However, this game, I'm really going to focus on what AlphaStar is doing. I might even pause to point things out maybe once or twice, not a lot, or slow down the game, say once or twice. Just basically to really hammer home how AlphaStar plays. So, this is basically going to be like an in-depth analysis on AlphaStar. The game is getting started very quickly. AlphaStar will be facing a cheese right out the gate. So, we see the AI has opened up with a double gas play, a very solid build in TVT, and it's actually the best build to go for against some kind of aggression. So AlphaStar opening up with a Reaper, then goes into the factory, usual Terran stuff. All the while it's going to be facing this proxy. So I'll probably do like an in-depth analysis for 1 or 2 more videos, just to make sure that they're not like all cheese games or whatever that I cover. We take a look here. Concussive Shells is the cheese AlphaStar will be facing. So far, the AI hasn't scouted at all. So this match, AlphaStar is going to be playing blind. It makes 1 Reaper, queues up a second. So it's probably going to be playing that kind of Reaper Hellion style, which gives you a lot of early game control off the back of double gas. Now, how this matches up against Proxy Marauders, I am not 100% sure myself. I'd think that this would be pretty decent for the Marauder player because Hellions really aren't good against Marauders. Reapers can be okay, but they aren't super effective. And so far, AlphaStar, despite some matches that it scouts constantly, it is not scouting this match. It's keeping its Reapers back at home, I guess, playing it very safe. However, now 3 Marauders are going to be heading towards AlphaStar's base. Just quickly, ladies and gentlemen, 3 likes for 3 Marauders. Let's hit it. Now, AlphaStar has a very quick reaction here to avoid getting hit with a concussive shell. It tosses down grenades to try and cover its retreat, and the assault is on here. The Reapers are being microed back as well as AlphaStar can. However, it's more tough to do against Proxy Marauders. So far, it does lose one of the Reapers. Potentially a second could go down. AlphaStar has to be very careful. Another Reaper pops on out. A grenade gets tossed down, actually bounces one of the Marauders over the wall. And now if we take a look, the Marauders are in the main base. AlphaStar is without a doubt going to have to pull the SCVs. An eBay actually gets thrown down for high ground vision from the Masters player. AlphaStar is not mineral walking its workers. They're actually just basically straight up chasing these Marauders as the Reapers and Hellions try and deal as much damage as they can. One of the Marauders has surrounded AlphaStar's, or one of the Marauders has been surrounded by AlphaStar's SCVs. So far, though, a lot of damage has been taken by AlphaStar. However, we do see that AlphaStar, as all this chaos is going on, the AI is actually getting out a Banshee, which should shut this rush down hard, and has been producing workers non-stop. So while AlphaStar has lost a significant chunk of workers, it actually isn't that low on workers compared to its opponent. Relatively. It's not horrible, not great, not terrible considering the situation. Now the Banshee's out, so those SCVs should just run away, try and save as many of them as possible. AlphaStar looks like the Hellions will be picked off. The last Marauder might be able to get another SCV or 2. But so far, AlphaStar did hold on long enough to get that Banshee, but I would objectively say that this wasn't quite a hold for AlphaStar, or wasn't quite a clean hold, simply because AlphaStar did end up losing too many SCVs. It lost 18 in all. Fortunately for the AI, it does produce workers essentially non-stop, even while holding a cheese. That is basically the backbone of AlphaStar's strengths. Most likely, a human player is going to make a mistake and cut workers while defending a cheese. And that is usually where the cheese gets extra efficiency, but this cheese lost out efficiency against AlphaStar. These 2 Banshees are going to clean up these remaining 2 Marauders, by the way. AlphaStar is just going to continue to produce workers non-stop behind this. It's very good at macroing up, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does manage to catch up to the other Terran player here, who's just doing standard follow-up with the Cyclone and the Raven. AlphaStar, though, is now going to move across the map with its Banshees, and then just keep making odd units here and there. A Widowmine, a couple of Marines, another Banshee on the way. Currently, the worker count 17 to 24. Quite a deficit here for AlphaStar, so the AI did get cheesed a little bit. The 2 Cyclones are actually out as well, so these Banshees I don't think will get too much done. They're going to try and actually get on top of one of the Cyclones. I don't know if they'll be able to get it. Maybe they can at least get one, but both the Banshees go down. 2 Banshees for 1 Cyclone. Not really worth it for AlphaStar, at least a consolation prize of not losing either Banshee. But once there's a Cyclone out, once there's a Raven out, it's pretty tough to get damage done with a Banshee against a Terran. Despite that, we still see AlphaStar making yet another Banshee. If you do multi-prong harassment versus a Banshee, then you have potential to get, or versus a Raven and Cyclones, then you have potential to get damage done, because the Raven can be out of position, then you sort of dive in and dive out. It's a very, very strong way to play. Banshee comes on in for AlphaStar, gets locked on by the Cyclone. The Raven will secure its death, though, so yet another Banshee going down. Minimal effect for the AI. We see no natural base yet for AlphaStar, and there's actually just still a worker lead for the red player. Seeing as how the red player is going up to 3 command centers, it's looking pretty rough here for AlphaStar. That being said, though, there is a siege tank in the main base for the AI, a Widowmine placed beside it, I guess to try and cover it. Then just siege tanks on the way. I am wondering if AlphaStar is going to try and go for something like a 1 base attack, as it has yet to expand. We take a look. Hellions want to run on in, but they are not going to get anything done. This actually looks like a pretty solid game from the red Terran player. Looks like another SCV might go down. Looks like, yeah, 1 SCV goes down. A little bit of harassment going down for AlphaStar. Spotting all these SCVs, delaying the missile turret a bit. We now even see a Raven coming out for AlphaStar, so going for its own Raven is quite cool. A CC actually on the high ground is a little bit odd. Usually when you're trying to catch up economically, you go for your CC on the low ground, but I'm not sure if AlphaStar is trying to like trick its opponent, being like, oh yeah, I totally haven't taken a natural while AlphaStar is building it in its main, or whether it's just like a safety thing or just like a redundant AI thing. Banshee being microed as well as possible. However, there's a Viking, couple Ravens, so these Banshees for AlphaStar really aren't getting anything done this game. We have seen AlphaStar in a lot of its matches get consistent damage done with the Banshees. AlphaStar throws up yet another command center right as that scan goes down, so the cat's kind of out of the bag on this one. AlphaStar down on supply, down really on tech, down on bases. It's not looking good for the AI this game. I think that the red player, barring any big mistakes, should be able to close this one out. I always believe in AlphaStar's comeback ability because of its strong macro. However, in this situation, the AI is basically just building tanks in its main base, making Banshees still, which I really don't think will be effective, as turrets are quite good against Banshees. Raven harassment is going in for AlphaStar. Tosses down a turret, but only gets a single SCV. The turret might potentially get that missile turret. That would be nice. Another auto turret gets thrown down preemptively for AlphaStar because it knew the Raven was going to be under fire. So a cool play there, I guess, from the AI, trying to cover its Raven. However, the Raven will go down. Now the turret in the main base was killed off. Will AlphaStar try and capitalize on that? For now, though, it's just going to send that Banshee towards the natural. Going to get an SCV, but this Terran player seems to have pretty quick reaction speed. 2 SCVs, potentially a third. Is there a third? Do I have a third? No third. So this Terran player is just playing a very solid match. AlphaStar is getting up to a natural base. AlphaStar does have a good chunk of siege tanks. However, it's still a very tough spot for the AI. The turret in the main base hasn't been rebuilt, so there's a chance that this Banshee to the south could get some done. We see AlphaStar. The trick really seems to be persistence as the AI plays, as it goes for its second starport, its usual kind of play there, by just rallying Banshees non-stop and waiting for some damage to get done. We take a look. There's no turret at the third. There's no turret at the main base. There is a chance that this Banshee could get something done, potentially a fresh mule. Looks like AlphaStar doesn't really seem to have a clear focus on whether it goes for SCVs or mules, as it shot one mule once and then it decided to go for an SCV. Third CC is on location now for AlphaStar, so it's continuously trying to catch back up in that macro. It's continuously making as many workers as possible, while also just sending out Banshees. However, if we take a look right now, this red Terran player is looking to move across the map, and I think this could very well just be a kill move. There is a huge army here for the red player. If we take a look, there's tanks, there's Ravens, there's Vikings. Does AlphaStar have what it takes to make a defense? Turrets are getting thrown up. I like that, to prevent the Ravens just from charging on in. However, I don't see a possibility for AlphaStar to hold on to this third base, so it would be wise for the AI to forfeit this, I feel. Abandon the base, lift off. There is a couple of tanks, but they're just moving in. They're gonna siege them now at the third. All of a sudden, in comes the Terran player. The red Terran, the CC does end up getting forced to be lifted. AlphaStar does evacuate with most of the SCVs, so AlphaStar is staying alive. The siege tanks are all getting set up, so it looks like AlphaStar will save this base, will not be broken in the immediate future. However, there really isn't a lot going AlphaStar's way. It's making Banshee still throwing up another starport, playing this weird Sky Toss, or Sky Terran that it plays, pardon me, in TVT, that it goes for sometimes, but this red Terran player is really zoning out AlphaStar. The supply is 37 army to 93. It's a good chunk of tanks for AlphaStar, but besides that, it's a little bit concerning, and this red Terran player just seems to have quite solid fundamentals macroing behind this, which AlphaStar versus, I'd say lesser players usually is able to capitalize with its harassment, with its constant pressure. But this game, the AI simply hasn't got enough done. The Banshees didn't really do anything. This Terran player hasn't really skipped any beats. And as we see AlphaStar trying to secure its third base that's burning down here, a Marine intercepts it. Looks like AlphaStar gonna lose another siege tank. The Terran player is capitalizing on its air control. The red Terran, that is. 2-2 is on the way for the red Terran as well. AlphaStar has triple starport production, is now going to be able to make more Vikings with a reactor. It could be too little too late, though, if we take a look. I mean, the Terran player has already started intruding on AlphaStar. The red Terran just pushing forward slowly and slowly with tanks. AlphaStar really needs to scan in order to save its tanks here, because now it's going to lose two, I think. At least one goes down. Is the second one in range? Yes, it is. So 2 dead siege tanks for AlphaStar. If AlphaStar, dare I say, gains air control, then we could see the AI potentially have something work for it, because then the Banshees could have their effect. And that could lead to a potential comeback here. Looks like the Banshees are going to move on in. They're going to tank some shots, while the Vikings are going to try and push back this army for AlphaStar. A couple get interference matrix. Liberators show up for the red Terran. AlphaStar trying to get up a 4th base. It gets canceled. The 3rd base isn't really a thing yet, so AlphaStar still on 2 bases. Going to lose another siege tank to these Liberators. Not enough Vikings out for AlphaStar to repel the Viking count of the red Terran. If we take a look, this red Terran player seems to just be macroing behind this, just building up a big enough army, and really isn't playing in a way which AlphaStar can come back. The Viking production is leagues ahead for the red Terran player, making 5 at a time compared to AlphaStar's smaller production. Looks like AlphaStar may win out in the Viking battle momentarily, but there's going to be more for the red Terran, I feel. Yeah, let's see. This isn't looking too good for AlphaStar. I mean, the Banshees can try and get something done, but all it takes is a scan and a stim. Looks like the red Terran will be repelled on this front, so AlphaStar may be able to retake its 3rd. The AI, though, really is just limping along. I mean, we saw there was a fusion core on the way for the Red Terran. He's maxed out. He's taken all the bases. I believe in AlphaStar's ability to come back, but this Terran player isn't floating a lot of money. Not really making any major mistakes or anything like that. So, yeah, it's just it's just a solid play from the Masters player. Like, we see the Banshees are going to move out, try and get something done, but they get found. They're going to have to cloak and try and run. They can at least burn a couple scans, but with battle cruisers on the way and just Banshees being made for AlphaStar, I am not holding out a lot of hope here, as the Red Terran is going to have a giant air fleet, has a massive income compared to that of AlphaStar. One of the Banshees is still alive, just being a bit of a pain, but look at that. The Red Terran player with the BM sensor tower just been like, hey, AlphaStar, how's it going? Not that this guy knows it's AlphaStar. I mean, the longer the game goes on, in theory, the more of a chance AlphaStar has. However, with the battle cruisers on the way, I just don't think there's the possibility for a win here from AlphaStar. Like, it's just going to be like BC is TPing on in and kind of yeeting themselves into AlphaStar's main base. AlphaStar kind of getting embarrassed a little bit here. Closed on in by sensor towers. This Red Terran player is just like, man, I am way too good to throw from a position like this. I mean, you can always throw in a game of Starcraft 2, but the Red Terran has clearly shown at this point that he's kind of beyond that. Now, the Banshee should actually be able to clean up these Marines. I say that until a bunch more show up. Looks like the Red Terran is going to run into the Siege Tank fire. A good concave, though, getting on top of this. Looks like AlphaStar's army may just fall short here. Another Banshee's coming on in. The Viking is going to land, so it looks like this will be cleaned on up, but that just sent AlphaStar back to the Stone Age of supply. A fourth base attempt is not going to get off because there's now being turrets built. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a PF get built by the Masters player soon. Banshee's going to pick off a Siege Tank, maybe a second, but yeah, it's just too much. We're just waiting for a slow GG from AlphaStar, and AlphaStar was kind of embarrassed this game a little bit. The Sky Terran just doesn't work. The third base goes down. I have zero faith in AlphaStar at this point to bring this game back. I'm a believer, but 6 BCs are on the way from the Masters player, and I think this is one of the most just lopsided victories we've seen against AlphaStar. A successful cheese, not something which happens a lot against the AI. However, this player successfully cheesed, had a solid follow-up. The main base floated over for AlphaStar over the AI. This AI is just toast. I didn't realize this would be a 17-minute game, but ladies and gentlemen, make sure to hit that like button. We set, I think the goal was like 3 likes or something. We're seeing 3 starports, so 3 is the number. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, as a lot of you guys watch AlphaStar videos. Don't necessarily pop that subscribe button, but it does help support the channel. And also, if you do enjoy these videos and are subscribed, make sure to press the bell icon. Okay, AlphaStar is totally dead here. BC's teleport on in. The Yamato on everything, just one bang bang boom. The Vikings just evaporate. That's it, AlphaStar. This Red Terran's like, why are you not GGing? Okay, there we go. And so yeah, well played by the Masters player, just closing it out. AlphaStar kind of got embarrassed this game. I'm honestly going to say it. However, yeah, as I was saying, press that bell icon. I'm actually like below average on YouTube analytics, probably because I very rarely plug it. It's just right by the subscribe button. Lets you get notified whenever I put up a new video. Thanks to those of you that support the memberships program. I might look into changing some of the rewards that might benefit people who don't necessarily play StarCraft. I'll look into that, but I'm not like a artist or anything like that, and I don't think you can really get away with using, like, I mean, you probably could, but you really shouldn't use like the Blizzard portrait or ranks things for members. Could always be the case, though. I'll look into that. But yeah, join the Discord if you haven't already. Slap that like button. I'll see you guys next time. This has been LaughNgamez. Hopefully in a match which AlphaStar fares a little bit better for a deeper analysis.